Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
We are all Richard Allen!
How the hell's it going, everybody? Looks like Clancy and Benny over there eating something, I guess. Hope it's not what I think it might be, but hey, thanks, Sandy Shirley. Look at that. What a good start to the show. It's 5 memberships, it says. Fortunately, only lists 1. I don't know if somebody else became one before. Yeah, I made this really good video today and hardly got watched by anybody. It was really weird. I think what happened was, I don't think this show will have a lot of people either. But what happened was I posted those 2 Lori Daybell, day 5, 6, and then after that 7. So then there's been too many posts. You only get 3. I don't know what they call it. Like even if you make a community post, they only notify people in 3 in a 24-hour period. So I think I blew way past that one, which is stupid, right? I mean, you would think people that want to get notified of your videos, it wouldn't matter what the video was. YouTube should give you their notification. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. It's probably not as many as you would think. But today was kind of a busy day. We had a shooting in at the Florida State University in Florida. I have the press conference. There was some kind of weird hijacking in Belize on a plane. I mean, it looked like he attacked some people with knives in there, but that one seems to be resolved. And yeah, put a 1 if you did not see my Delphi video today, where I made a video about the vehicle. And I thought, man, when I did it today, it just was so clear. There's no doubt at all that that is a 2016 black Ford Focus hatchback. That's not a 1 she felon. It has to put a 1 in, not a 2. Man, follow directions. Jesus. I wonder why it only says 1 new member, even though you bought 5. It might have been like right when the show started. There was only, I don't know. I have no idea. Yep, absolutely was Richard Allen's vehicle. Yeah, they just don't send it out to everybody after you've used 3. Released on bond in Texas. We have a cold-blooded murder. Well, I mean, why would he be released on bond if he was deemed a cold-blooded murder? Yeah, I saw 5. I'm saying on my screen it says 1. Look. Right here. See that? Oh, you can't see it. This one right here. Look. See? It says one new member. should be 5 there. All right, so as we know, there was a shooting today, and it's pretty crazy. There's this one shot where there's this person on the ground, and this lady's walking, drinking out of her drink, and filming the body on the ground. But she's like sipping out of a straw. I mean, what kind of people are these? It's just unbelievable. You know, you're actually casually strolling with the body on the ground, and I'm not going to play that one. I don't know what that means, Rebecca. Who's Connor Lloyd? I don't even remember that. Did I cover that? Connor Lloyd? No, I didn't cover that one, I don't think. Well, I mean, the girl on the ground is, but the girl didn't do anything. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about the behavior of the girl walking, drinking out of a, just like it's nothing. I mean, it's just wild. I mean, why not go down and say, hey, are you okay? Or something, but you're even literally having a sip and then filming, and what a loser. Jeez. All right, you guys, this show's just like any other show, though. If you're out there and you have the ability to help support the channel during my show, I would appreciate it. Go through the same rigmarole every single night. My channel gets supported by income that comes in, and then I also give away a lot of the money that the channel brings in at the end of the month to various true crime related charities, including our DNA fund, our scholarship fund, and a whole host of other places. I think we've averaged about, I don't know, I'm close to like 40,000, 45,000 a year for the last 5 years. Hey, thanks, Kathy Freidenmaker. All right, so here's the press conference right here. It's usually a dead zone for the support, but we're going to do it anyways. I gotta turn up the audio.
Florida State University. All Florida State University classes and business operations on the main campus in Tallahassee are canceled through Friday, April 18th. Essential employees should check with their supervisors for further reporting instructions. All FSU athletic events in Tallahassee are canceled through Sunday. At approximately 11:50 a.m. Thursday, April 17th, a gunman opened fire on the main campus of Florida State University in Tallahassee, shooting multiple individuals in the vicinity of the Student Union building. FSU police responded immediately, engaged, neutralized, and apprehended the shooter. 2 victims are deceased, and 5 individuals have been transported to a local hospital with gunshot wounds. The shooter has also been transported to a local hospital. The 2 deceased are not students. The shooter is believed to be a current FSU student. I do not have additional information on the shooter's identity at this time. Students who need assistance can go to the Donald L. Tucker Center, where the university is providing counseling, health care, and other support services. Family members are also able to go to the Tucker Center for assistance. Students, faculty, and staff are asked to call their loved ones as soon as possible to update them on their status. The student union and the surrounding area is still considered an active crime.
I think they said there was like 2 people, at the time I was listening, 2 people dead, 6 injured, and then they've also they wounded the shooter, who turns out to be the son of a, I think it's like a a police officer, but she worked at a school. Like she was an actual, like, one of the officers that you post at a school. And then his father actually took his own life, and he was a police officer, and he took his own life in 2019. So, there's probably a lot of messed up stuff in this guy's world. Not sure what the hell he's doing. Why would you need to shoot other people?
Individuals should avoid the area. Students should not return to the student union to retrieve personal property at this time. Students may return to their residence halls, but they should otherwise stay indoors on main campus to allow first responders and university staff to do their jobs and
But I got to tell you, just like every other case, the reporting was so off. Everybody wants it to be this big, God, I wonder if it's a terrorist attack. They were saying that there were multiple shooters. One guy said, oh, yeah, he has all kinds of different weapons, just all this stuff. And it turns out that let's see, his mom had a previous, like an older style gun, and then got a new gun, and then was able to purchase the one that she had before. It was her service revolver from a previous location she worked. And somehow that kid had got that weapon, and that's what he used, just a pistol. There wasn't like an AR-15 or anything like that.
Respond to those needing assistance. Students may depart campus for the weekend. All classes have been canceled through Friday.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Before I turn this over to Chief Revel, I want to thank all the brave men and women of the FSU PD for responding immediately to the scene. I also want to thank the responding agencies who have provided assistance to FSU today big time, including the Tallahassee Police Department, the Leon County Sheriff's Office, the Florida Highway Patrol, Leon County Emergency Medical Services, FDLE, and all other responding agencies today. We really appreciate your support. That's all the information I have at this time. We'll have additional update for you later today. Chief Revel.
Good afternoon. I am Chief Revel with the Tallahassee Police Department. As the shooting occurred today, our officers, as well as every single other officer in this city and county, responded immediately to this scene. Once on scene and once we began working through what was occurring and what we were working, in consultation with FSU, Tallahassee Police Department was asked to take lead on this. So we will be the lead for this investigation in both the officer involved shooting portion of this as well as the homicide portion of this. I will come up after the last speaker and entertain just a few questions, but needless to say, we have multiple crime scenes. This is a very large area we're covering. We have thousands, hundreds or thousands of witnesses. And again, this is an active, ongoing investigation. So the information that we will be allowed to release right now may be fairly limited. I'll answer what I can at that time. But I will assure you that as soon as we can, any information that becomes available, we will make that available to you. One of the things in the process, and again, understand that this is an ongoing active investigation. So things are happening as we are standing here and as we are speaking. We have identified the shooter, obviously. He's at the hospital. So with more on that, I'm going to allow the sheriff to come up and speak on that portion of it.
Thank you, Chief. As Chief Revel indicated, I'm Walt McNeil, Leon County Sheriff. First and foremost, let me express our gratitude to the responding law enforcement agencies in this community. Our citizens should feel some degree of comfort knowing that your law enforcement agencies are going to respond and do exactly what we did in this case, that is, bring the offender to justice and to make sure that we do what we can to make sure we lock him or her up. Let me say to you, this is obviously a heinous crime. Our deepest condolences go out to the FSU family, the families of the students who are here, And we understand that you all have been devastated because of this person's actions. The question as relates
I fixed all the audio on the questions. You couldn't hear them at all. Like, it was literally like, hey, what do you think about that?
to who is the shooter. The shooter is 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, and he's the son of a Leon County Sheriff deputy. Our Deputy Eichner, has been with the Leon County Sheriff's Office for over 18 years. She has a tremendous job that she's done. Her service to this community has been exceptional. Unfortunately, her son had access to one of her weapons, and that was one of the weapons that was found at the scene. And we are continuing that investigation into how that weapon was used and what other weapons perhaps he may have had access to. The alleged shooter was also a long-standing member of the Leon County Sheriff's Office Citizen Advisory or Youth Advisory Council. So he has been steeped in the Leon County Sheriff's Office family, engaged in a number of training programs that we have. So it's not a surprise to us that he had access to weapons. This event is tragic in more ways than you people in the audience could ever fathom from a law enforcement perspective. But I will tell you this, we will make sure that we do everything we can to prosecute and make sure that we send a message to folks that this will never be tolerated here in Leon County, and I dare say across this state and across this nation. Thank you. Let me bring up the FBI Assistant Special Agent in charge, Hubert Reynolds.
Good afternoon. My name is Hubert Reynolds, and I'm the Acting Special Agent in charge of the Jacksonville Field Office. I want to echo those standing with me what a horrific crime this is, and we stand with you fully. We have an office here in Tallahassee, and we are fully engaged with providing any resources that we can bring to bear to help with this investigation moving forward. We've established a digital tips media line where you can upload photos, videos prior to and during the incident. If you were there from social media, please upload all of that. I will give you now the website address. You can upload any tips to www.fbi.gov/FSU shooting. Again, that's www.fbi.gov/FSU shooting. I want to assure you that we are going to bring every available resource to be able to help the community and the local people here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Richard McCullough, Rick McCullough, the president of Florida State University. This is a tragic day for Florida State University. We're absolutely heartbroken by the violence that occurred on our campus earlier today. 2 have died. 5 other innocents are being treated for their injuries. We're working to support the victims, their families, and everyone affected by this traumatic event. I just returned from the hospital where the First Lady and I met some of our students who are the victims. Our hearts go out to our students and the victims of this terrible tragedy. I have to say that our law enforcement, our FSU police officers, are absolute heroes in this regard. The call went out, someone called it in, and immediately they responded to the scene and immediately neutralized the suspect and prevented this from being a bigger tragedy. I want to thank them so much for what they do to try to keep our students safe. I want to thank all the law enforcement partners, FSU Police, Tallahassee Police, Leon County Sheriff's Department, Florida Highway Patrol, and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and all other responding agencies for their rapid and courageous response. I want to thank everybody that came out came out to visit with the students and to help us, and to be here today for this press conference. And I appreciate so.
Yeah, well, I wanted to thank Ivan Victor. I didn't even see these. They came in during the Idaho. I don't know. I guess it was yesterday though. Somebody watching the Idaho 4, or the not the Idaho, the Lori Daybell stuff on the, like late at night. I played some, I think. Well, I wonder what he was 16th. That's right. I started some at 9 o'clock last night, right? Yeah.
So much the support that you're all providing to our university and to our students. We're fully cooperating with the investigation, and we defer to law enforcement as they continue their work. I'd also like to thank all the healthcare providers at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital. They're treating and providing outstanding care to our victims. Right now, our top priority is safety and well-being for all the people and our campus. As it was said, classes are canceled. On the main campus today and tomorrow, and all FSU athletics events on Tallahassee are canceled through Sunday. We also want to tell you that counseling and psychological services are available to students, faculty, and staff, and anyone that needs that should call 850-644-2003. We're also providing support for faculty and staff through our Employee Assistance Program. And so if you need any help, please reach out. We'll continue to communicate with the campus community as we know more. This is a deeply emotional time.
Yeah, it is kind of weird how there's always these school shootings. I guess they just probably look at it and go, wow, look at all that coverage. And, because why are they always shooting the kids? Maybe they feel like those people all had these great lives, mine sucked, so I'm going to do that. But I don't know. It's weird how they always keep doing school shootings.
But we're all here to support each other. We're going to do everything we can to support our community.
It does kind of sound
We're
like
a strong
Bush.
and united community, and we're family. And so we'll take care of all of you. And we'll get through this together. Thank you.
Yeah, I said that earlier that he was shot. Yeah.
All right, at this time we will take a few questions. Let me just reiterate, this was a massive response, a massive response of law enforcement personnel. Our federal, state, local partners have continued to build relationships that long preceded this event, and that came into great play today in the seamless way that we all came together to work these events. But I know you'll have some specific questions. I will tell you right now, we are not going to talk about the victims other than the fact that there are 6 of them.
And you can see this is WCTV's recording of this.
Two additional deceased, and then the suspect. So 9 total persons. 9 total persons. Yes, sir.
Have you all been able to talk to the suspect at all? Any idea about motive?
The suspect invoked his rights not to speak to us.
Chief, do we know if the weapon that was used was his parents' service weapon? And if so, what are the rules around storing service weapons?
Right. No, that's a good question. This weapon was a weapon that the deputy previously used. A lot of times, many agencies, mine included, when we transition to a new handgun, the officers are allowed to purchase the handgun they used prior. And correct me if I'm wrong, Sheriff, but I believe that's the case here. This was a handgun that deputy used prior to them transitioning to a new handgun, and so it was her personal handgun.
Is she put on leave or?
The sheriff would have to speak to
He
that.
does have low ears, so.
We will do a thorough investigation to look at all aspects of it. There's no cause right now that we're aware of that require her to be placed on any kind of suspension or otherwise.
Yes, ma'am.
We've been hearing stuff that it was a deputy who was a school resource officer. Is that true?
That is correct.
Chief, those injured, those killed, or any of those members of law enforcement?
I'm sorry?
Anyone who died in the shooting or was injured in the shooting, were any of them members of law enforcement? Whether it be
No, they were not. They were not. Yes, sir.
When law enforcement arrived, did the suspects engage with them, or did he surrender immediately?
No, they challenged him and ended up shooting. He did not comply with commands and was shot.
Did he fire officers?
I do not believe he fired at officers.
We've heard that Phoenix may be autistic. Are you able to confirm that detail?
I do not have that detail.
Is there an idea of the victims yet?
Autism brought up again.
We're not releasing any of the victim information at this time.
Was the officer aware of any behavioral conditions or concerns or threats prior to this incident?
We were not.
How quickly did officers arrive on scene from the 911 call to when they engaged the suspect?
We will get you that information. I don't have that currently. I assume that would be a question that was asked, but I mean, it was almost immediately. That FSU, obviously this is their campus, and they patrol it very well. So they were on scene almost immediately, engaged almost immediately, and then everyone else, again, was a massive, very quick response.
I know you said that the two deceased were not students. Do we know of those 5 that were injured or any of them students?
Again, we're not releasing any information on the students on the victims at this point.
Specifically, what firearm did you use?
I'm sorry?
What kind of firearm was he using?
It was a handgun.
What kind of handgun?
I don't know what type of.
Let me ask you this though: can an autistic person also have other things? Like, can you be an autistic person and also a psychopath? Is that something that's possible? I mean, like, you're a sociopath and you're autistic, or is it just all of a sudden when you're autistic it overrides every single other thing? Because I think it's, if I was just going to think about it, like, okay, they're autistic as their baseline, but couldn't they also be a psychopath too? Like on there. So, I think it would probably be the same ratio of autistic people that are psychopaths or whatever, right, as the rest of society. Some autism, some parts of the spectrum have, what do you call it? They're like, I forgot what the term is, but they have like low, I can't remember the term. I'll think about it here in a minute.
Handgun that was. It was probably a 40. I don't know. Yeah.
Chief, I heard reported that a shotgun was also recovered on campus. Was that used in the shooting?
We do know that he had a shotgun with him. We have not confirmed anyone was shot with a shotgun at this point. But again, that could change as we, again, there are hundreds and hundreds of witnesses, and as we piece all of this back together, information will come to light that we may not have at this point. So I do not believe so at this point.
We'll take one more question. Will body cam footage, radio dispatch, or any logs be released in the near future?
I'm sorry, say again.
Will there be any body cam footage or radio dispatch logs or incident reports being released anytime soon?
We will work with the state attorney's office.
Yeah, like I just typed it in here. It says, the co-occurrence of psychopathy and autism is possible but rare. However, although the clinical profiles of ASD and psychopathy, I think that's autism spectrum disorder, right? Differ considerably. These two disorders also display numerous shared features. A lack of empathy is common in both disorders. All right? But the problem is when you have somebody that has autistic kids and you bring up something about the lack of empathy, they get all pissed off at you. And the thing is, I wish people could just have conversations about topics like that. Like Adam Lanza, for example, Elliot Rodger, these people, did autism help foster some of the way that they were? I don't know. But what I don't like is sort of the attitude where people have, well, you don't have a kid that's like that, so you can't comment on it, you bastard. And they get really angry, and it just sucks, you know. I can't stand it. It's just, it's ridiculous. I just want people, if you have a thought like that, I mean, I don't want to sit there and bash, you know, like autistic people are autistic people, and most of them are absolutely fit into society, and, you know, some have a harder time because they're, you know, further on the spectrum or whatever direction it is where you're less likely to be able to function completely normally. You know, I just have, like, the example I always have for myself is I dated this lady that had a autistic kid, and he just lacked empathy completely. I mean, it was wild, you know. You give him these little pets and he just squish them. I caught a trout and he goes, oh, I said, you want to see what it feels like? He grabbed it, squeezed it to death. You know, and he was like 12 years old. He wasn't some 2-year-old that didn't know what he was doing. So it made me nervous about that guy, you know. Yeah, like, you know, one time we, you know, caught some crawdads for him to have in a bucket, and he just sort of like, you know, I just like crushed him and killed him. I mean, it was weird. People just don't do that shit. Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about the, you know, you don't have to be an expert on it. You know, if you have experience, you know, you might want to say, oh, wow, I saw this. But then there's other people that are totally normal, right? They act, you know, you don't even know that they're on the spectrum. And, you know, I always wonder, aren't we sort of all a little bit on the spectrum, right? Like, some people have thought that I'm like that because of the way I am. I just say what I think. And, you know, and I have a friend who, he sits there and he's a genius, and he's funny and all this kind of stuff like that, but he wonders sometimes because he'll hyper-focus on something, and his memory is like insane, his memory, and he's just, yeah, he's the world champion footbagger guy. He made it all the way to the finals at 58 years old. But you kind of just wonder, you know, he always says, hey, I wonder if I'm, because he's like that. Genius, you know, he's not violent in any way, shape, or form. So, just a thought. Hey, thanks to this account. But hey, guys, we're currently only about 10% of the goal tonight, so if you guys are out there and want to help support the channel, I would appreciate it. Like I say every single night, this channel relies on you guys to do the live streams and support it for me to be able to keep doing it. Because I could easily just start doing 2-3 videos a day, and maybe that would sort of completely offset everything. But I like doing the shows and hanging out with the freaks. It's just getting to a point where I don't like to ask every show. But it seems like I'm sort of relegated to doing so. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Well, it's weird how they just keep having this huge spectrum. You know, like Rain Man's probably on one end. And then maybe somebody like, I don't know if Elon Musk is like that, but let's say there's people like Elon Musk that are considered to be on the spectrum, right? And they're just, you know, out there doing their thing, you know, smart as hell. And that might be the other end of it. Yeah, well, it's just, I don't know. It's hard for me some nights when I do the show. It's just difficult. There might be a point where I just have to switch gears and do something else, a different way of just making, you know, 2-3 videos and stuff like that. Because I do a lot better on subscribers, on videos. You know, on the show, I don't want to have to keep asking all the time. I wish you guys would just realize, oh yeah, that's right. This channel relies on us. Let's go, you know, and that would be great. But it doesn't do that, because currently we're at $13.98 and 5 memberships. So we're really at a low point.
Which we always do, and in pulling together all the information, all the investigative evidence from this case, and then collaboration was...
That's hilarious. This account types in, do cold cases too. I just tried it, this account. I did cold cases like 2 out of 3 days, and both of those days were horrendous. Okay, so I think I've given up on that.
Attorney Campbell, we will make that determination. Obviously, after the case is over, we will certainly, it all becomes available at that point. But as to what we can and will release at that point, like I said before, we're very open, transparent on these things. Again, the officers did an incredible job. But again, some of this is very horrific. This is a horrific incident. And so we will, again, collaborate with the state attorney's office and determine which of that evidence could be released or will not be released. But again, I'll let you know that as soon as we make that determination.
Run ticket for what?
So, thank you all very much. Appreciate you being here. And just let me reiterate what's already been said. The collaboration between all of the agencies, the federal, the state, the local, all of our first responders, our EMS personnel, our fire department, again, just a massive response, immediate treatment to the victims that were there.
Thank you, CrimeZilla. Starting the train. Okay, everybody, come on, get on the train. Choo, 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 choo.
The transport of them, again, it was a very seamless response to this tragedy. And that goes to the training that we all do repeatedly, individually as agencies and together. The incident command came together very, very quickly. And again, I could not be more proud of the response and more horrified at the act. So thank you very much.
Can you just real quick verify it one more time?
By the way, how you doing, this account? Hadn't seen you for a while, but I saw you came in the other day. And
The number of people injured and dead, or if it was 8, would you say?
Sure, total number of 9.
Yeah, I don't. Like, here's the thing I always say. If you can't afford supporting the channel, I don't need you to tell us why you can't. And I'm just talking to the people that can. And as a matter of fact, I don't want you to... If you're somebody that's just living on the edge, like, oh my God, I don't know if I can get... I really, swear to God, I do not want you to send anything here, okay? I'm just trying to make this work for the people out there that have the ability to support the channel, etc. That's great. But you don't need to, as I say all the time, I don't need you to tell me why you can't, okay? You just don't do it. I mean, you're just here and you're hanging out, and, you know, it's not a big deal, you know? It just used to be where, you know, a little different vibe where I didn't have to ask as much.
That includes the suspect. So there are 6 victims that are injured, 2 victims that are dead, and 1 suspect. And that's, let me just reiterate this because I'm not sure we said this. We have no reason to believe at this point that he did not act alone. So there is no further threat to our community at this point. So thank you very much.
Well, there you go. I talked to 8675309 this evening. She's, you know, getting her... She used to have a store in Los Angeles. And I think, hell, she probably wouldn't even mind if I mentioned it. I think it's called, let's see, Please and Thank You Store. You know, so she, you know, just kind of getting it all going, and it was great, cool talking to her. You know what I'm saying? So maybe play this one. No, not that one. This one right here. Where is it? Oh man, I don't know where I have it. Right?
Stupid as...
No, what the hell? Where's the one? Oh, it's over on that side. Just a sec. There. There we go. If you're out there somewhere, there it is. Yeah, if you like that song. Right. Hey, would it be helpful if I put at the bottom of the screen, hey everybody, Help support the channel if you can. Help support the, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't have to say it, but then I'd be more disappointed that even though it's on the screen, nobody's responding to it. I'm not giving up. I would just like switch over to videos. Videos are so productive for my channel when they're watched. Today's video was a disaster. Great video. It got 2,000 views. I mean, horrendous. That's like $25. Maybe not even that. Like 15 or something. You spend like 2 hours making the damn thing and just gets crushed right out of the gate. Hey, Michelle H. just gifted a membership. Alright. So let's see. This guy. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, so look at, here's the, I don't know if you can see it, but he's right there. And see right there's a person on the ground, and then later this lady walks by, that same person just having a drink. It's ridiculous. Anyways, I don't want to sit there and play it. It's not really. And apparently this is the guy right here. Note the low ears. We've got that. And then there's another picture of him. I think that's the same guy. It's just different ages. One of them's probably like when he's... I mean, it looks like he has the same exact nose and everything. Where it's kind of a slit there, and then, just haircut shorter. Hey, look at that. Crimezilla gifted 5 to Ruthie. It looks like he eats crayons. Let's see. Grecia Serta. And the mother of Cycle Breakers, Teresa. Staring blankly. Metallic BGA. Now, hopefully some of you guys, when you get the free memberships, that you stay a member at the end of the month. Because you can choose the, there's a $1.99 option if you want to. But I need a lot of you to, just become channel members. Let's, stay on there when you're gifted one. If you got gifted one, then maybe you can, it's $1.99 a month. No, it doesn't look like two different people. It looks like exactly the same person. It's just one of them's when he's much younger, and then he's older later, and he's got, the same nose. Everything's the same. Just his hair is longer. Yeah, it looked like somebody sent a coffee in. We got the one coffee in for the day, and that is Tito. Thank you. And if you'd like to send me one, there's the link right there. I know, it's wild, isn't it? There's that weird look, the Adam Lanza look. Now, actually, Adam Lanza had his own creepy look. Look at this guy. Jeez, are you kidding me? I mean, they should have like a system that the FBI uses that they just look at you and say, you know what? I'm just kidding. You can't do that, but I'm just saying. I mean, aren't there some people out there that just absolutely ooze mass shooter? It's just unbelievable. Did you hear Gray? He said, oh God, here we go again. Alright, so this turns out to be the father right here. It is with deep sadness that we announce the passing of Deputy Trent Eichner. That's his father right there. Trent has been with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office for 5 years, first serving as a corrections officer and most recently as a deputy. Trent was a husband and a son, brother and uncle to his family, and a great friend who will be deeply missed. Got that one. And then Okay, so this is where his mother is. She's, I think, right here. So this is Jessica Eichner. She was married to that last guy. He was a police officer. He actually took his own life, his father. So, I mean, there's just a lot of messed up stuff going on here. So that's the mother. And by the way, these are all resource officers. See, look at that. School resource deputies. Isn't that interesting? I mean, does that have some correlation to why he went to a school? And I think she was one for a middle school. Where he got caught in mom's panty drawer. Yeah, it doesn't, I mean, the thing is to leap from, oh my God, my dad killed myself, therefore I've got to go kill a bunch of kids. Does that even make any sense? Yeah, I don't give anything for any, just like the idiot that killed the insurance company leader, Thomas or Thompson, whatever his last name was. The shooter was Luigi Mangione, right? I mean, anybody out there that's cheering that guy on is an idiot, okay? I mean, you guys are just as bad. That means your mentality is, oh, I don't like insurance company, therefore I'm going to go shoot the person because he has a job. Somebody's got to have that job, right? And so it's just ridiculous. And by the way, United Healthcare, which I think sucks, by the way, he has, he wasn't even in that, okay? He wasn't even in that insurance company. So what excuse does he have? And why is he popular with people? I'm just telling you, man. And I think the mentality of people who cheer on Luigi Mangione is exactly why we have a bunch of these weird shooters and nut jobs out there. Okay? Because it's crazy that there's people cheering this shit on. And then there's people cheering on Brian Koberger. Yay! Yay, Koberger! Yay! Richard Allen. Hey, do you guys want to... well, let me go through these first. So Phoenix, the shooter's name is Phoenix Eichner. And that's him. So that is a picture of him right there. And that's his mom. And that's the exact same sheriff that was at the press conference, interestingly. And what's this one? Okay, so yeah, he's over there shooting over there. But how creepy. Hey, look, he's got United States of America. He must be a Trump supporter, everybody. Did you see that? Wait a minute. So you're saying that Democrats don't support the United States of America? Okay. They wouldn't wear a shirt like that? At least 2 dead, confirmed dead, while 5 more wounded. Okay, these are all... Let's see. What's the next? Okay, did the press conference. I'm trying to find the one that I was looking at. Yeah, so here's another one on the father. Trent had a soft spot for his pets, 3 dogs and a cat. All were rescues. He also loved cars and motorcycles and loved to worry his mom out by participating in activities she believed to be dangerous. Over the years, many people told her kind and protective nature would be perfect for a career in law enforcement. While in high school, a young man born with cerebral palsy. Oh, weird. Okay, so then it says, and in a wheelchair let her know Trent protected him from being bullied and teased. Trent also cared deeply for his family, especially his grandmother, who was his best friend and legally blind when the new Walmart opened, he pushed her around the store and described every inch of it so she could create the vision in her mind. So it says down here, he'll be sorely missed by friends, all who came to know and love him. Survivors include his husband. I guess, oh, so he was once married now, and then he's gay right now? I don't understand that, but it says survivors include his husband, Taylor Eichner, Brenda and James Eichner, grandmother Dolores Eichner, all Shane Eichner, Jessica Eichner, nephew. And there's another article, though, that has the other person as the ex-wife. So that's sort of interesting, right? I mean, it sort of adds more complexity to the whole thing. Like, you know, does that have something to do with why his kid did what he did? Yeah, I don't know, man. His father took his own life. That's interesting. I didn't even see that on the previous. So that's him too, right? So they have the same pictures. Yeah, that's interesting. Don't know what to make of that. Because, you know, that's his dad, I believe. Let me find that original. Because it says right here, with deep sadness. All right, let me just type his name in again. Yeah, Trent Eichner. Uh, 30th Netherlands, died Wednesday. He was born. Okay. This one is. I'm just trying to find some more information here. Hey, thanks, Mama, for 57 euros. Survivors include his husband, Taylor Eichner of Netherlands, parents, Brendan James Eichner, grandmother, Dolores Eichner, brother, Shane Eichner, and his wife, Jessica Eichner, nephews. So I don't know. Maybe he's a brother. Because earlier in an article it said that that deputy was his wife. So maybe that was an error in that, whatever. But it wasn't. It was an old article, though. Wait, hold on. He was born on May 24th, 1989 to Brenda K. Phelps Eichner and James Trent. Hold on. Jeez, what the hell was... What's the mother's name again? Okay, Jessica. All right. Is the word Jessica even in here? Right there. Yeah, I'm kind of confused here. So it says, parents Brenda James Eichner. Okay, survivors include his husband, Taylor Eichner of Netherlands, parents Brenda and James Eichner, grandmother Dolores Eichner, all of Eichner, brother Shane Eichner. Okay, so Shane Eichner is... Oh, I see. So this is an uncle of him. So Jessica Eichner is married to Shane Eichner. Trent is the brother of Shane. So his uncle is this guy. All right, now it makes sense. It was getting really confusing. So it's not his dad, though. It's weird. One article actually said it was. Weird. So other than that, there's really no, they didn't give out a lot of information about like where, oh there we go, 3D buildings. There's got to be 3D buildings in this. There we go. Yeah, there's only one there. Terrain, 3D buildings, got that. Let's see, all of the guys look, really, what is, I don't know what that means. What guys? I don't understand. I don't really understand that comment, but did you see that video of the shooting? Yeah, I played it earlier. Where he's just kind of walking, shooting at people running. And then that lady's walking by a body, and she's drinking like a Slurpee or something, and you know, just drinking out of it, and and then there's even some more shots in the background, and she's just walking by like ho hum. What? Right, let's not like battle back and forth and use your what do you call it, the virtue signaling. You know, some people just say things differently. Bio mother removed him from the U.S. in violation of the custody agreement when he was 10. Bio mother removed him from the, wasn't she the bio mother, the one that she's with? Who? I don't know what you're referring to. What's Starbucks have to do with anything? Bio the mother. Okay, send me the link. I don't know what that means. I thought she was his bio mother, the resource officer. Now there goes my stomach. Hey, thanks, Thornberry. I'll just say, I guess I didn't see where you said AKA. All right, maybe. I can probably just say Mrs. Wild. Okay, I didn't do the first name. So thank you. The bio mom was the school officer. The bio mom was the school officer. Was she Norwegian? I don't know. Now I have to see what. Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, you didn't really word it very artfully there, Susan. But I don't, you know. Just, I'm kind of over, you know, just the virtue signaling and everybody. Just let people, if people say something and it's not great, I'm sure they're not shitty people. They just said it wrong. And we don't need to jump all over it every single time, you know. I'm not talking about the pro-burger wackos who come in and pretend that somebody what's this one here? Just somebody explaining it?
The loading bay right here next to it, and started seeing everybody run. The maintenance guys were telling everybody to get out of the building, so everybody started coming out the back. And I mean, if they would have probably moved 20 feet further, they would have been on this side of the building, which is where he walked out. He came out the shooter? Yeah, he came out this door right here, and then he saw the maintenance guy who was waving everybody, and I guess heard him probably, and turned and shot that way towards like our direction, towards him. There's a golf cart over here with a bullet hole in it.
Yeah, we got a picture of
that blocked it. So that was meant for him. And then after that, he turned this way and started shooting out on the green. He didn't shoot many shots when he came outside. It was only like 4 or 5 shots, but he shot like 2 at our direction, and then he shot like 2 this direction, and that's the girl that got shot in the butt over here that was laying down for a while. They stretchered her off. She looked like she was alive, but I'm not sure. I hope that she is. But then he went back inside. I should have probably hid. I pulled out my phone and started.
Yeah, it's sent. I was just doing this one first.
Videoing everything and came back out. I heard that there was a shotgun that never fired that they saw, so they had me looking in the bushes for a shotgun for a while.
And who's they? Have you like who?
The cops. The cops showed up very fast, like almost instantly. Tons and tons of cops showed up instantly. I mean, there were probably 20 cops within 5 minutes, just right there. But then, as well as the 100 that were out here.
Yeah.
But
did you see many shooters, like multiple shooters?
I didn't see multiple. There was only the one that was in here. But what I've heard is that they had one at each entrance. So I think that like this was the guy on this side, and then there was probably one on that side and one on that side.
So nobody was going to get out, essentially.
Yeah, they had it planned. I mean, it seems like a coordinated thing. It was definitely coordinated.
And what were you doing here? Were you getting ready to go to the union? What was like? Were you?
No, I just think that like this was the guy on this side, and then there was probably one on that side and one on that side.
No, see, isn't that weird how this crazy stuff spreads around quick like that? There was just one guy, one kid. Every new outlets were like, "Oh my God!" All kinds of different weapons, 2 or 3 shooters. They took one shooter out and the other one, and there wasn't. It's just one guy with a pistol, yeah. But we're back onto the massive lulls, everybody. So if you're out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, we're still only at like 40%. That would be great. 45% probably.
Side.
So nobody was going to get out, essentially.
Yeah, they had it planned. I mean, it seems like a coordinated thing. It was definitely coordinated.
And what were you doing here? Were you getting ready to go to the union? What was like? Were you?
No, I had just left. I was going to my car.
So you were just leaving?
Parked on the service road right
How does
there.
that make you feel now? You kind of missed the brunt of it.
Well, I mean, good. I'm glad I'm alive. Yeah. I'm glad everybody else standing here wasn't right.
I don't have any problem with hunters, you know. You know, you probably weren't somebody that should be hunting up there. Back of the line said, I quit hunting recently because I just couldn't kill animals anymore. How does a person actually take another person's life? And then somebody said, somebody must have said something. And then they said, thank you, I feel regret for what I've done. Right? What have you done? Is it for shooting an animal for food, or like what was the thing that you did that you were? What was it? I don't know if animals are made. I mean, people eat humans. That's why people eat animals because that's why we have incisor teeth. Okay, but I mean, when you say up there, I have regret for what I've done. Is there something more that you're talking about? Yeah, I mean, people hunt. That's, you know, I mean, I'll tell you what I'd rather have is somebody hunting than, you know, like a cow just sitting in a field and eventually we kill it and eat it. You know, it's like sitting there and it's a little weird, right? We're hunting, you know, it's a wild animal. It's, you know, out there. People actually make sure that there's enough of them for hunters to kill to, quote, harvest them, etc. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the people who hunt to get a nice deer rack to put on their wall. I'm not a big fan of that. Now, if that's part of the thing, like, oh yeah, we got a nice buck here, and you eat the food and share it with other people, and by the way, here's what it, you know, here's that, great. But if you're just really hunting for the trophy part of it, you know, that's not as cool, you know. Although that's, you know, maybe that's like a part of it, right? I guess, you know, if you go fishing and you catch a 35-pound steelhead, you might want to, you know, get a replica made of it. Right, but that's another animal, Susan. Yeah, I mean, it's another animal in the grocery store. It's the same. It's another animal. What made that animal less? And by the just hunting for food, but I just started feeling sorry for the animals. Yeah, I think you're virtue signaling. All right, let's see. I mean, sure, I get you're feeling sorry for the animal. Okay, sure. All right. I mean, I don't know anybody that just shows up to a chat about something that's unrelated and starts talking about how they shoot animals and feel bad. And it's just like, what does this have to do with you? I guess is where I'm kind of coming down. Like, how did it get towards you? I don't get it. Oh my God, it's crazy. All right, let me get to this right here. I feel bad even killing an animal. So how could there be somebody out there that kills other humans? All right, let's see. All right, guys, but guess what? We haven't moved. We haven't budged. We're still at 45%. So like I always have to keep saying is to continue to keep doing the live streams. We got to reach the goals. And I'm trying to reach the goal tonight. It should be fairly simple with the number of people watching. And if you have the ability to help support the channel, I'm not referring to people who have no money and are need to be able to take care of themselves. I'm talking about people out there that have the ability. And those, that's what I'm, on my show, I try to raise the income on the show itself. So if you can, you can. That'd be great. Thank you. Yeah, it just has nothing to do with anything. Alright, let's see. The suspect accused of gunning down 2 people and injuring 5 others at Florida State University on Thursday is the son of a local sheriff deputy, that's the female, authorities say, and spent time training with law enforcement and serving on a sheriff advisory council in the years before his alleged attack. Why would this kid be on an advisory council? Son of a local sheriff deputy, authorities say. When he was taken into custody, Phoenix Eichner, 20, was carrying a handgun that used to be the service weapon of Sheriff Deputy Jessica Eichner, according to officials and records. A review of court records show Phoenix Eichner had a tumultuous childhood with another woman, with another woman identified in the documents as his biological mother. Okay, so maybe this is his stepmom, I guess. Another Florida, let's see, and the son of a local sheriff. Okay, so it's his stepson. So I wish they would be clear and say like something like stepson in the other part. Thank you, Cinnamon Sin Freak. When he was taken into custody, and it says a review of court records show Phoenix Eichner had a tumultuous childhood with another woman, identified in the documents as his biological mother, accused of removing him from the U.S. in violation of a custody agreement when he was 10 years old. Sheriff Walter McNeil told reporters that the suspect was steeped in Leon County Sheriff's Office family, engaged in a number of training programs that we have, so it's not a surprise to us that he had access to weapons. Wow, so this kid was like involved with the Sheriff's Department. Jessica Eichner has served at the Sheriff Department for more than 18 years, McNeil said, adding that her service to this community has been exceptional. She did not respond to a request for comment. Phoenix was a member of the Sheriff Youth Advisory Council, that's insane, which is designed to provide an open line of communication between the youth of Leon County and local law enforcement, according to a news release from 2021. McNeil described him as a long-standing member of the council. Jeez. How crazy is that? On Instagram, an account with Eichner's name and photo that was taken offline after he was publicly identified included a biblical quote on its profile: "You are my war club, my weapon for battle. With you I shatter nations, with you I destroy kingdoms." Eichner is a registered Republican according to Florida voter registration, which, like a massive number of people in Florida are. He was quoted in January in an FSU student newspaper article about anti-Trump protests in advance of the president's inauguration. He said, "These people are usually pretty entertaining, usually not for good reasons." Eichner, who was described as a political science major, was quoted as saying, "I think it's a little too late. He's already going to be inaugurated on January 20th, and there's not really much you can do unless you're outright revolt. And I don't think anyone wants that." I don't know what that means. You know, what he's saying. Like, is he just talking to them or what? Leon County court records show that Eichner's biological mother was accused of taking him to Norway when he was 10 years old in violation of a custody agreement. The court documents refer to the child as Christian Erickson and say he and his biological mother are both dual U.S.-Norwegian citizens. The shooting suspect later changed his name from Christian Erickson to Phoenix Eichner, a law enforcement source confirmed to CNN. According to an affidavit from a sheriff's detective, the child's biological mother told his father that she would take him to South Florida for spring break in March of 2015. Instead, she fled the country with him in violation of their custody agreement, taking him to Norway. The suspect's biological mother pleaded no contest to removing a minor from the state against a court order. She was sentenced to 200 days in jail, 170 of which she had already served, followed by 2 years of community control and then 2 years of probation, according to court records. She was ordered, I wonder what she's doing now. She was ordered to have no contact during her sentence with her son or any of his teachers, doctors, counselors, unless allowed by a court. She later moved to vacate her plea, saying she had made it under duress and was denied. It's unclear whether the suspect's biological mother had contact with him over the last decade, and she did not respond to requests for comment. But just after the shooting, she posted on Facebook complaining that her son's dad hadn't responded when she wrote to ask if everything is all right with my son, who studies at FSU. Yeah, so she thought, man, I hope he's okay. And turns out, man, that'd be kind of crazy, wouldn't it? Let's see. All right, I'm at to say it again, you guys. We're just dead as a doornail. We're not going to reach the goal. If we don't, we need to have everybody help support the channel that has the ability to. And unfortunately, I'm having to ask again, even if when you guys know what we're doing. So maybe I'll have to put it up here on the screen. Let's see. If I do, we're going to need to have 20 of those. Maybe that'll happen. See how it goes. All right, there you go. Let's see if we can do that. Community members said they were still struggling to reconcile Phoenix Eichner's ties to the police force with his alleged attack. Kenia Houston, a member of the Sheriff's Court Council, told CNN she was shocked to learn that the suspected shooter had served alongside her. She did not personally remember Eichner, but said the advisory council was focused on making the community better and improving law enforcement, so his actions were especially shocking. That's what it was all about, making better decisions, she said. For something like this to happen from someone in a group like that is scary. It's devastating. Yeah. I'm not sure. What image am I waiting for? Yeah, it doesn't. No, the YouTube doesn't give a shit, you know. But I need you guys to give a shit. Yeah, that's the thing. So I went to middle school with the FSU shooter, curious to why his name is being reported as Phoenix Eichner when people knew him as Christian. Yeah, Christian Erickson, right. So that's just all it is sort of verifying the same thing. Yeah. Okay. It's only 20 years old. All right, well, that's all I got, you guys. I don't have any more, you know. It's a crazy story. I mean, he serves on the Youth Advisory Council for the Sheriff's Department, and he ends up, and he's a son of a sheriff, and his uncle was a police officer who took his own life, and he ends up being a shooter himself. That's crazy. Yeah, they're going for the death penalty for Luigi Mangione. Good. That was the first thing that popped up. So, anyways, I'm going to play. For those of you who didn't see the video earlier today, I'm going to play it. Alright? Nobody's going to watch it anyways. It's ridiculous. And while it's playing, if you feel like this kind of work is worth something, that would be great. But for the 3 times in a row, when I say, hey, if you can support the channel, it's such a demoralizing feeling when there's none. Please hit that like button, here we go. Share and subscribe. Today's video is regarding the Delphi murder case of Abby and Libby. Abby and Libby were killed back on February 13, 2017 by convicted killer Richard Allen. During the trial, it was alleged that Richard Allen drove his 2016 black Ford Focus hatchback to the abandoned CPS building. And it turns out the exhibits have just been released of the black 2016 Ford Focus hatchback. And there's 3 different images. They're from I think it's 1, 27, and 38 seconds. And then 39 seconds and 40 seconds. And I have put them, overlaid them here in Photoshop. And you can see all 3 of the sightings of the vehicle back to back to back. They're just all on the screen at the same time on the same street. So those 3 cars that you see right here, let's zoom in. That's each shot of the hatchback is right there in succession. So 1, 2, 3. I just put them all on the same image. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you what I've done in 3D Studio Max. I purchased a 3D model of the 2016 black Ford Focus hatchback, and I have created a scene in 3D Studio Max, and let's take a look at it from above. So I did a massive, like 8,000 pixel by another 5,000 pixel export from Google Earth. And here is the Hoosier Harvest Store where the camera was located. You can see there's this little cement block, you know, sort of a landing area to go inside the house, whatever you want to call it, a patio or something. And then here is West 300 North. And I placed a telephone pole in the scene, and it's right here. So see where the shadow of the telephone pole is? I just placed it at the base of it right there. Okay, so that's where the telephone pole is. Then I have a black Ford Focus in the scene here, and I put the camera right next to the building and just north of this cement slab. And let's take a look at the image again so you can see what I'm talking about. There's the cement slab. The camera is pretty close to it, as you can see. So it's just behind it a little bit. And then here's the sort of a rectangular parking area, and there are the vehicles. And there's just one vehicle, but again, there's 1, 2, 3. Those are the shots. And if we look through the camera, you can see here's the first shot of it. Now what I'm going to do is on the camera, I'm going to zoom in just so I have a larger version of it. And let's do, I'm going to make it probably like 55 millimeters, something like that. All right, so there's the vehicle, and then I'm going to render it. So we're going to set the rendering settings to, I'm going to say that this one is going to be, I'll just put the number 1 in there. And I'm exporting it out with transparency, but before I do that, I forgot to turn off the ground plane. All right, so let's do that again. Render, setup, and then go down to here, file, and then we'll just call that number 1. And then I'm going to render it. And here we go. I also put the daylight sun system in there so the sun is coming from the correct angle. Seems to match up. I wasn't able to get the reflectivity or sort of the specularity effect on top of the car. I don't know why, but the sun is where it is. I'll show you here in a second. So there you go. We just exported the Ford Focus. And now I'm going to go above it, the scene. It's right there. Let me put the map back on. You can see it right there. And over off to the right here, I put a sun system in the scene. So here it is right there. It is 1:27 and 38 seconds on February 13th, 2017. This uses UTC time, so it's -5. And this geo coordinates, you can test it out yourself, is right there next to the Hoosier Harvest Store. And those are the settings I'm using for the sun system. Now if we look up in the air, you can see how it's coming in. See how it's coming in from behind. It's coming from the south and aiming north, the sun is. So it's going in that direction, right? Like that. You can see the angle of it just by looking at that. See that? So when we look at the image on Photoshop, you can see how this side of the car, the north side of the vehicle, is dark because the sun is coming from the other side, exactly how my 3D Studio Max program has it. You can see on each vehicle, though, that there's, you know, sort of a reflective or specularity effect from the sunlight on top of the car. And for some reason, when I render it out, it does not have that. Okay, so we've already rendered the first one. So let's import that in. So open, and it was number 1. And there's the vehicle. Just copy the whole thing, move it into here, and then we can move it up into this area. You can already see that it has a very similar shape. Scale it down. Oh yeah, what I was saying earlier is Luigi Mangione was just indicted on federal charges. So that's where the death penalty comes from. Anyways, back to the video. And let's move it up here. I might have to rotate it because it's kind of hilly over there. 3D Studio Max that I'm using, you know, we can't put in, I don't know what the hills are. There isn't the ground, height, etc. So we have that. And let's just turn that on and off, and you'll be able to see. See, look at that, you guys. Can you see that? I mean, that's absolutely. I mean, I don't know how closer you could get on a vehicle. I mean, even the back window, etc. Everything is exactly the same. All right, now it might be. I have to rotate that slightly. Let's see. Let's see if it has any extra, because it looks like it might be sort of like that. Yeah, there we go. So now the wheels are hitting the ground at about the same time. Right there. Let's see. There we go. I mean, my God, you guys. That is a black 2016 Ford Focus hatchback. Okay. So now let's do the next one. Go back to 3D Studio Max. I've already pre-placed these vehicles. So I'm going to, let's see. We go to the camera view. And so we're on, this one's one that we already did. I'm just going to delete it. And now here is the second shot. So let's render this one off, remove the ground, render setup, and then I'm going to call that one number 2. And hit the render button, and here we go. And then we'll move that one over there, and we'll do all 3 of them just to see if there's any change that might make it not be a black 2016 Ford Focus hatchback. So here we go. And rendering that should be complete. Go back to Photoshop, File, Open, bring in number 2. Select the whole thing, bring it over to this one, put it over there, edit, transform, scale. Get it down to about the right size. Look at even the wheels, I have it at the correct angle, you can see. Let's see, probably about, let's see the wheels. Looks good, like right there, okay? I mean, that looks pretty good. I mean, look at that, you guys. Give me a break. I mean, this is absolutely, I think it's a little too big though, perhaps. Maybe about like right there. And then does that also need to be, I think it needs to be rotated slightly. Slightly like that, perhaps. Now let's move it down into there, and there we go. Okay, I mean, that's crazy. Look how perfect even the wheels are in the angle that I got. All right, we got that one. Now we're going to go to the last one. So put the ground back in, and we're going to put the one that has the telephone pole on it. We're going to put that one in there. And there we go. And then I'm going to just delete that. All right, so we might have to use a different camera setting because it looks like it's off the screen. So I'm going to move it to, I think I have it at 50 millimeters. So 35 we'll use. So there we go. We can see the telephone pole and the vehicle. I'm going to render it now. Glad I stopped that. I'm going to go to render, setup, and then down here make that number 3, just so you don't go over the top of the other one. So there we go, number 3. Save, and now render it. So here we go. This will be the final shot with the telephone pole with it. I did a version of this on my show last night, and it was pretty compelling. Okay, so let's close that out. Go to Photoshop, File, Open, number 3, Control A, Control C, back here, And let's paste it in there. Let's go edit, transform, scale. I'm just trying to scale it down where let's see, so those wheels look pretty good. Wheels, right there. I don't know if it looks like, okay, so if I got it right there, I'm just trying to get it so it fits in there. So you got the back wheels. Looks like I need to rotate it again. Unfortunately, the telephone pole will rotate with it. So it should be, I'll just have to do it. You'll be able to tell. So it's just a slight rotation. You can see it's kind of going down in the video. So maybe not like that. That one's a little harder because I have that telephone pole in there. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I think it's a little bit smaller too, slightly. There, just like that. See, I mean, look at that, you guys. I mean, that's incredible. Absolutely, the vehicle driving by the Hoosier Harvest Store is the 2016 black Ford Focus. And here's one last thing I wanted to show before I get off of here. I know. All right, so this is sort of out of order because I thought of doing this right after I recorded the video. So watch. I'm going to slowly add the transparency on. So here we go. So look at. Can you see that? I mean, just look at the original video below. And then I'm going to slowly bring on the other, the 3D model version. Look at that, you guys. Absolutely 100% is the vehicle. Can I get a boom? Now, does that convince some of the people out there that think Richard Allen is innocent, that at least it is his vehicle that drove by, since there's only one in the area, that it is his vehicle that drove by at 127, which disproves his story that he got there at 12 and left at, what was it? He got there at 12 and left at 1:30 when he originally told Dan Doolin he got there at 1:30, which is exactly what this is. Look at this. That's the time was corrected. That time was off. It's over here. I think it's off the bottom of the screen. So 127.38, right around 1:30. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to put all of these on one layer. Now watch this. Can you guys see that? Can you tell that that's the 2016 black Ford Focus? Seems pretty obvious. All right, everybody. I want to say thank you for watching the video. I think these kind of videos like this are the most compelling that there are out there. Please share my channel with other people who want to have fact-based information and really nail stuff to the wall. And that's exactly what we're doing right here. And by the way, law enforcement should have done something very similar to this because it's so simple to see, not just having them look at an overhead shot of his vehicle in a parking lot. This right here is absolutely damning and shows that that is Richard Allen's 2016 black Ford Focus hatchback. All right? So thank you all very much for watching. If you could hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. And leave a comment in the comments section and let me know what you think. I think this is absolutely it. Thank you for watching. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I think I'm going to take off. I don't know what Stephanie Sprague is. Is that a person? Oh, yeah. It's just, if you haven't followed it, why would you, it wouldn't even be interesting to you. I mean, it's like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You know, if it, you know, you say, what's the issue with Richard Allen? I haven't watched anything about this case, but isn't he in jail? Sure. But, I mean, why would he even be interesting? I mean, there's people that the trial wasn't videoed for anybody to see, and recently some information, you know, they're putting out the exhibits from trial, so at least now we're able to see it, and there's all these people that think Richard Allen is innocent. That's why we're talking about it. Richard Allen is anything but innocent. He is a killer, and they found him guilty. That's why we're talking about it. Okay, I think it's almost shocking if there's anybody in the true crime world that never didn't follow the Delphi case. It's almost strange at that point, because it was a huge case in the true crime community, and 7 years of waiting around, and finally got it. Oh, the headline just says a show, yeah. And the headline of the video says it's Ricky's car. All right. Let's see. That's what people believe. I mean, even Court TV always has people on that talk about, oh, it's Ron Logan, it's Ron Logan. They make excuses for Richard Allen. You know? Yeah, my thing is I've told you guys before, like, if we're having nights where it's really slow, I don't mean, you know, some people don't like that element of it. I can't spend like hours and hours and hours when there's no support for the channel. So I'd rather, you know, take off and start working on a video for tomorrow to help augment it. I hope you guys understand that part. Okay? However, you know, I mean, it just is what it is. If you guys do help support the channel, then I'd be more than willing to sit here and do another hour and a half or whatever the hell it is, but I just can't do it. All right. You know, my channel is a YouTube channel, small business, whatever you want to call it. And it's just, I've explained it to you guys so many times, it's almost mind-boggling, and I don't want to keep doing it. Is it true the sinner returns to the screen? Don't know what that means, man. Thank you, Stephanie. What did she say there? I appreciate you. I thought it was... Oh. Let me ask you something about the whole Karen Reed thing. Yeah, right. I posted those and nobody watches them, Zozo. I mean, I posted all of the Lori trial at, you know, extra speed, edited out all the garbage, and nobody watched it. I mean, they're talking 600 views on those. It's getting really frustrating for me. You know, I don't know what else I can do. I work my ass off for all of you guys, and every day is a struggle, a grind to try to make things happen. Getting tired. Especially with all the shit going on in my life with and everything else. It's just be nice if there was some element. Nah, it seems like it wouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter what time it uploads, you know. It seems like people in the UK or somewhere else would watch it. I mean, to only get 600 views with having 150 something thousand subscribers is just mind-boggling. Right. And then everybody, you know, keeps saying, "Are you gonna do Karen Reed? Are you gonna do Karen Reed?" If I cover Karen Reed, nobody's watching over here. Okay, because I'm not one of the people who's been covering it the whole time. And I wouldn't have the same opinion as all the cool, popular, hey, Gray, you just don't realize it. And it just, man, I don't really want to go through that. Yeah, it's all difficult. But, I mean, look at tonight. What was it about tonight's show that didn't deserve, and the video that I made today? And it's just an absolute, you know, I don't know. I'm just tired. Yeah, I'm just not interested in it. you know. I mean, I understand people are interested in it, and they're just so fascinated with it. It's like cops against regular people or something. It's just so many people are covering it. And unfortunately, during the Karen Reed, when I do my show, everybody will be out watching those. Hey, thanks, Ivan Victor. There's somebody, anyways. I appreciate that. I saw that you sent super chats in on the Lori Daybell show, the video. So that was really cool of you. Thank you. You were the only person in the entire Lori Daybell shows that sent in any super chats of any kind, on all of them. Isn't that wild? You know, it takes like 2 hours to edit those things. I have to sit there, upload it, and wait another hour and a half as YouTube does all of its things. And it's just so depressing, you know, some of this shit, you guys. Yeah, isn't that wild? Yeah. Right, well, I guess you'll have to go somewhere else, Paulette. I'm not doing it. Let's see. Yeah, except there's people that live in the UK. I got a lot of UK viewers all over the place. You would think more than 600 people would want to watch. Instead of watching 8 hours of trial, you get to watch it in 3, and without all the breaks and crap, you know. But no, nobody's interested. Yeah, I think it'll be cool to see the outcome in Karen Reed's case. I don't need to know all the different, you know, little side things and, you know, what it was, you know. Hey, thanks, Fig Sauls. Yeah, I think I think this video right here, if they played something like that in court, but, you know, done differently, where they just kind of go through how they put it together, I just, you know, I think, I mean, if I was them, I would do a Faro scan of the area and get a 3D model of the actual area itself. Then put a 3D model of the Ford Focus on the actual road in the Faro scan, and I think you would just be shocked out of your mind how absolutely perfect it would be. See, that road's hilly, so it's kind of curves around and does different things. So. But thanks, Ivan, for you being the one that was supporting during the. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I could do something similar if you guys want. The only problem is, you guys, I'm uploading the trial at night, just like I did in Lori Daybell, and nobody watches. There's no income coming in from it. And it's just a complete waste of time. I mean, I literally spent 3 hours on each of the videos for Daybell. Okay, thinking, okay, well, maybe, you know, some of the freaks might want to watch it, or they could get up, you know, people out there can get caught up, and it's just crazy. The only true crime channel. The only true crime. I mean, if you want, I can do the same thing in the evenings, but it wastes one of my notifications. You see, I have a live stream, and I would do that, and then a video maybe on the Koberger case. I'm still putting together different ideas on that one. I think Lori Daybell did about 1,000 times better than I thought she was going to do. And there's no doubt about it. You know, you can't argue with that. She went up there, made arguments, you know, maybe her, you know, her feelings got to her a few times, but you know, it was. I just think she did better than you would think. Let's see. I think you need rest. Yeah. Well, I've been really busy lately. I'm paying you to go to bed and get rest. You do great work. So we found you watching Brian Cobra coverage, and you're amazing. Go cuddle puppies. Yeah. Well, if that made the goal, then I could do it, but it didn't. I appreciate that. She's sending me to bed. Yeah, I thought she. I mean, for somebody who's doing herself, you know, defending herself, she did pretty good. I wonder if she's going to put on a defense, though. Yeah, I just thought she would sound ridiculous in her questioning, so I thought she was going to use all of their crazy religious beliefs, but she didn't do that. I never thought she was dumb, like, I thought she was like, I always thought she was kind of like a mastermind manipulator of Chad, and they sort of worked on how can we get rid of our spouses. Oh wow, what a coincidence that the people that we can get life insurance from all became zombies. Wow, what are the odds of that? What a crazy coincidence. I know, that's what I was kind of wondering, how she would do that. How would she ask herself questions? Maybe she could just have a mic where she asks the question and sits in the same spot. Well, I think Alex Cox was killed by, I think Zulema, I mean, I don't know. Somebody else had something to do with his death. I know that law enforcement said, oh yeah, it was there's no way, man. There's no chance. I'm still here, Stephanie Sprague. If you can keep paying to put me to sleep, that'd be great. But I still need your guys' support. We're only at 60% of the goal again. I'm still sitting here. Yeah, well, I guess they're waiting over the weekend, right? There wasn't really anything today other than jury instruction. Wait. Well, the jury... So, they're waiting over the weekend to see if she's going to do it, right? Yeah. Well, I got one coffee tonight, too. Man, just a... Wow. Unreal. Played cook in prison. Yeah, they've asked. I haven't been able to listen to the whole thing myself, but maybe you guys want me. I could do that in the Karen Reed case. I could do the same thing if you want me to, or you can just watch it, like maybe after I do my live show, or I don't know, man. I'm just today brought the checkbook back to. See, my mom's always, where's the checkbook? Where's the checkbook? She's just not capable right now of doing anything and might make crazy mistakes. And so we were going to have my dad, when he needed to write checks, I'd take him over. But then now we've given the checkbook back because she keeps wondering where it is and everything. And then I think it's just going to cause so many fights over there. It's going to be ridiculous. My dad needs to have peace. And see, this is my biological mother and my stepdad, but which I call dad. But in this situation, I am more protective of him because his physical health is so. It's like it's so down there, like at a crossroads. And she's physically healthy, but it just treats everybody. At this point it's horrendous. Okay, so I don't know what to. She's just treating people terribly. You know, even when Chris goes over, she goes, "What are you doing here? I don't need your help." And yeah, you do, Mom. You do. You actually need it. And the other day she said, Gray, I don't need your help. I don't need your help. And then proceeded to walk over, drop something on the floor, spilled it all over the place. And I go, apparently you did. You know, but like I probably shouldn't have said that, but that's just how I felt. Because she's just keeps going and going, and it just stresses him out. And he doesn't need the stress. And it's just absolutely, I don't know, man. I think she might make it hard for him to survive. Harder. Hey, thanks, Tana, with another membership there. So who else is going to do it? Let's see if we can just randomly generate the goal tonight. We are currently at, let's see. Yeah, it'd be tough. We're only at like 140. We're not even, it's a mile away. And you look at the top of the screen, that's what we needed to reach the goal, and only 2 of you decided to do that one. Yep, keep doing what you're doing. I'm trying. You know? Let's go, random freaks. Let's go, random freaks. Come on, see if we can randomly reach there. Okay, well, come on, Ivan. You don't have to be the only one. You're the only one that supported the live streams. Thank you. There you go. What's that? That kind of, let's see, 38. Hey, now we're only 50 short, you guys. Pretty good. If we do another 10 memberships, I'll donate 5, and then we'll be totally at the goal. Plus, I'll have been able to give away, my goal is to be able to give away $25 worth of memberships every single night. My parents are in their early 70s. Not there yet. It's really frustrating. Think about it, how weird it is, you guys. When you have somebody that's not remembering anything, but they're in the moment, they remember what you're talking about in the moment, but then 4 minutes later, they don't remember what you just said. So it's such a weird thing. There's like these larger concepts she sometimes remembers, but I don't know, man. I'm not really sure how you guys. I almost feel like I have a friend that had to deal with that. I want to call him up and ask him. Yeah, I don't know if I think if a mom. I think when they have dementia, though, like that, it's almost not worth it. It's different because they're not even the same person, and there's not really any really great moments, and it's bad on everybody else. So I don't know. I mean, there is these little tiny moments. Eventually, they forget who you are, even. Yeah, I think that might be how it gets later. Kind of sucks. I appreciate being able to talk to you guys about it. You don't realize. And the thing is, it's for them, it must be so weird. You know? So, they don't I mean, my mom does seem to realize she doesn't remember things quite as well as she used to. That's her perspective. And so, for them, it must make them really paranoid. Because they must be thinking stuff like, I didn't say that. No way I said that. But you did. I think I told you guys the other day, my wife, we had to get her, teeth put in and everything because we had to pull a whole bunch of teeth. And she one time, I mean, it's this huge, expensive, like $30,000 thing. And they said, my mom said, yeah, we'll do it. we'll cover it for you guys. Chris has always been so helpful, you know, and we were so thankful. And we talked to her about it a couple times. And this was like 5 years ago. And then a month later, I was talking to her and said, yeah, that's going to be so great. She goes, I never said that. And then we had to scramble to come up with, like, you know, I mean, it was just incredible. And then my dad at the time was like, yeah, she didn't say that, you know, defended her. And then I remember like 3 years later, 2 years later, he said, you know, Gray, I think, and that was the first moment where I realized that I know for certain that she didn't remember that. Something really big like that. So, anyways. My grandma used to brush her teeth about 8 times and take about 8 baths per day because she forgot she... Yeah, really? Well, she was pretty clean. At the time, it's like she has dementia, but she can't walk. She's only 57. Oh, man, that sucks. Sorry to hear that, Stephanie. See. Yeah, and it's weird too because like we bought this really cool walker for my dad. We brought it over today. It's got handbrakes and it even has a seat. And she's like, why does he need that? He doesn't need that. Well, he does, Mom. You know, he actually does need it. You know, and then he had a walker with him when we showed up with it because he has this older one. And then she like folds it up and carries it. Like, hey, look at me. I don't need anything. I mean, you could have just pushed it along too. Yeah, it's pretty cool with the seat. Yeah, I mean, you just turn around, sit on it, you put the brakes on, you push down, locks it in, sit down. I know, well, it's weird. I don't know if it's scary for them because they don't remember, you know. It's weird because we took her to a hotel. We should never, I don't think we should have done that. My dad needed to be in a hotel for 2 days after we got him out of the shithole rehab facility. And we put him in a hotel, and then my mom's, they wanted to stay together, but twice in a 2-day period she got lost in the hotel, had to call people in it. You know, it's like, you know, I don't know, she hasn't got lost over at the actual place that they're staying at, the retirement place, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, they drugged him. They overdosed him on some medication, and he couldn't even move one night. Late in the night, somebody came in and drugged him. You know, gave him extra, like 100 times or some number of he was supposed to get on something. So we got him the hell out of there, and now he's in the place. It's assisted living, but it's a place where it's independent living, but you can sort of like a la carte assisted living. So they have that, and they bring in the medicine every day. But now we're sort of, you know, trying to figure out the medicine. Like, does he have the right list? I mean, it's crazy. Everything's crazy all the time. No, they're both in a regular sort of a retirement place where it's independent living, but you can also have assisted living where they can come help out, and they also have a memory care place, which, you know, probably my mom will have to end up having to go into that place at some point, where they're not allowed to leave, etc. But it's, you know, they're in the same building and everything. So, like, if my dad's still alive at the time and she's in there, then he could go visit. Just sucks. Yeah, well, my dad is there, and we told him not to let him out of the room, Susan. So that was somebody physically there with her. But she just goes, "I'm gonna go downstairs," and I think it'd be really tough to get somebody. They aren't going to get better. Yeah, yeah. A lot of stress and right. Yeah, you'd think they do that. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing, is that's what our plan is when she starts talking about something, you just immediately say, "Hey, do you want to," and you just you're just in the moment, and you try to change her thought and where it's going. It seems to work. When I look at her face, she looks the same, like she looks at you and you just, I feel bad that but the thing is you sort of have to choose, like, who do you want to, let me ask you guys something. If you had somebody that's really healthy but has dementia and it's not going to get better, and then you have another parent that their mind still works pretty good, but they are absolutely, sick, they have heart failure, kidney failure, stuff like that. I mean, aren't you sort of more backing that person because they need to be able to have peace and calmness to try to get better, feel a little bit better and sort of get out of, I mean, it's hard. They're not going to get totally better, but they can, with the medicines and stuff like that, can be better. And it's kind of like you sort of have to choose which one to, I mean, you can kind of work with both of them, but there's got to be a point where you say, "God, Mom, you're just," it's kind of a hard decision. I mean, I think you can kind of see the dilemma there. Like, every day it's kind of this weird battle. I don't know. Susan, I think she would have been told. My dad's a doctor, so feels like somebody would have said something. Hopefully in the next 20 years they fix, get rid of that. Because, I mean, since that is my mom, I'm not sure, I might not get something like that. There's times where I don't remember something I should remember, and I'm thinking, oh my God, Yeah, I agree with making sure your dad has peace. Otherwise, right, it's like to save my dad, like, it almost feels like to allow him to have a better chance, you got to do stuff to make it so that, I don't know, well, let's just see. Maybe after a while in the same place, they'll have a routine and she won't be stressed out. I think you kind of have to decide in a situation like this. Right, like the memory care thing. I mean, I think that'll be something in the future. Currently, she doesn't really walk away. She just stays in the same place. But, she gets really, almost like she throws stuff, like she can't open her door, so she just chucks the key. And you don't want to have a situation where it's causing a problem in the facility. Then what do you do? But I think they know about that. Like, she's acting exactly the way other people act that have the same thing. It's not unusual. It's just, kind of hard to deal with, I guess. Yeah, he can still visit, yep. They're in the same building, even. She's just down the hall there. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Cindy. Me logical? No way. Yeah, well, I have, 3 other siblings that we discuss it with every day. And it sucks, too, because, like I've always said, my mom was a great human being. Still, she's still alive and everything, but she was like an amazing person. And I'm not saying that because she's my mom. I'm saying, like, if you were just some technically, she did so many great things out there, lived in LA, led the whole thing against fighting against pollution, became a real estate appraiser, on her own, worked during the day, and at night go to night school, became a real estate appraiser, and then became like the corporate appraiser person, but wasn't paid as much as the guys. So then she did a class action lawsuit against the bank for back pay because she was absolutely, she threatened the class action lawsuit. Then they gave her the back pay that she wasn't given because the men got double what she got. Then she got the money and designed a house, had that house built, and then was really moving forward in the appraisal world. And then my brother died, and then she just dropped everything and then focused in on the fight against the legalization of drugs, went to Washington, did all kinds of, like huge life stuff, right? And my dad was a nephrologist and one of the best that's ever been on the planet, like literally textbooks he wrote and stuff like that. So now we're in this weird situation where they're both, my mom, who would always take care of him, is not able to take care of him anymore, even though she thinks she can. And it's just a struggle. The whole thing just sucks, the way it's turned out, like you have these 2 superhero human beings, and the medical world treats, especially the way my dad was treated in the last month and a half, it's just absolute garbage. Somebody who probably saved 30,000 lives in his life, it's just ridiculous. And I think I told you the story where I was golfing and I was playing with this guy that he was just I was just random golfer, a guy from India, an Indian, guy from India, his ancestry anyways, and we were just playing golf and we were just hitting balls, and he just sort of randomly brought up, oh yeah, well, I had a kidney transplant a while ago. So I go, oh wow, maybe you know my dad, Dr. Bennett. He just went, oh my God, that's your dad? I mean, he looked like he wanted to go on the ground and start like praying to, it was like, he goes, he absolutely saved my life. And I go, oh, that's crazy. I'll call him right now. So I called him, and then they talked for a few minutes. He was just so thankful, That was just like 2 years ago. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, sucks. Well, it looks like we hit another dead end. We were doing good. We almost got there, you guys. We needed 10 more channel memberships, and then I would have gifted 5. We were that close. We'll just do it anyways, just for you guys randomly being here. And if you want to help out, great. If you don't, then don't. So here you go. Man, it's always such a double whammy when your video does terribly and then the show doesn't do well. Anyways, we got Maureen, Wendy B, Marcia, Beltron, Jennifer, Cardio. That name sounds kind of familiar. And Janana. Remember, you don't need to explain. Right, I hate when people do that. Nobody asked you to explain why. I just say, you know, if you can't afford it, don't do it. And so you don't need to tell everybody. It almost feels like people are doing, like they want you to. Yep. Yeah, well, it was a great video that nobody watched. Awesome. Yeah, I do live streams every single day. Yeah. Hey, there's one of them. There's Daff M. All right, how about this? Well, you guys, you can ask me questions. Let's do one of those things. The question and answering. Go ahead, ask me something. About another YouTuber got gifted a show. Wow, that's wild. Gifted a membership. Let's see. I don't really celebrate holidays. I don't really celebrate holidays. It's a shame. Yeah, it's only got like I mean, let me just show you. Let me show you, for example. Watch. Here, let me get to the right place. Right, so here are the, you know, like videos recently. Watch. You've got this one here has, okay, 23,000 views, then 9,000, that's okay, with the sliding glass door, and then the two Lori Daybell, 607, 613, absolute joke. And then this awesome video today has 2,152. And that means it might make $18 or something. I mean, it's just absolutely ludicrous, right? So it's none of your fault. It's just nobody watched it. You know how? I mean, you guys obviously are sitting here, and I don't know. Hey, thanks this account. But isn't that crazy? So this video here did well. If all of my videos did like this one, just that number, I could probably, I mean, literally it would be, it takes so much pressure off, but they don't. And as you can see, you know, this one probably did pretty good. There's 27,000 there, 9,017. Look at Lori Daybell, day 2, 713. Then Lori Daybell, day 3, 1,106. Yay! Then a Koberger video, 14,055. Then Lori Daybell, day 4, 1,000. A Banner Day. And then 7,942, 11,378 for these ones, and 23,000. And then as soon as you do anything else, and then the Delphi one, Jesus, really? So there you go. You got the, see the inside look there. Basically, I mean, I do live streams every day between, I would say 5:30 and 7 o'clock at the latest. It's not the same exact time. And some nights it's been, you know, a few random ones are way later, but yeah, no, it's nuts. Everybody thinks, oh, Gray, you must be doing so good on, no. And especially a video like that should have done really well. It just, that's how I can tell when you play the video and it's a premiere and the highest it gets to is 100 views, like 100 watchers. That video is just going to collapse right out of the gate. I mean, there's no chance. It's almost like I should just stop the premiere immediately and re-upload it the next day or something. Yeah, I mean, it's okay for me. Some people get like 40, 50, 60,000 views, and, you know, those channels do really well. They don't do live streams though as much. They just do videos because they don't need to do them. You know, we were doing live streams because it was just kind of what we did, and now it's just like pulling teeth. Yep. Yeah, shorts don't do anything. I don't even know why. Shorts are, they might get somebody to subscribe to your channel, but they don't have, there's no income on them. I'm not even sure why people make them, to be honest. Yeah, shorts are notifications. Oh, I did have, okay. So what do we now? We're at 130. Let's see, 520, 100. Or let's see. So if we get two more channel memberships gifted, or two $5 super chats, we did have. There was some. They're not. It's not. I don't know how interesting it is, but there were some Koberger documents out. And we could just rush through them all if you want. What's that? What's a preview option? Never heard of it. Have you tried using the preview option for video premieres? I don't know what that means. Nah, that never works. This account. There's this one guy that does these basketball videos. He does it perfectly. Like he just, right at the end, he says, "Oh my God, you guys should hear about this," and then the next video is about that. And then at this one, so you're just sitting there, you just kind of keep watching different videos. It's pretty wild. Hey, thanks, Judy Grandstrand. I'm not sure what I've never heard of that. A preview option. Oh, you mean having like the little short, the thing that says, "Hey, in this video." Nah, it just, because that's just more work again, making another. Are you saying like have a preview option for the video that's going to be coming up? Like if it's going to come on in like an hour or something, there's this video that people can watch to get them interested in watching it. Oh yeah, that's what you're saying. Okay, yeah, maybe I could try that, I guess. But they might go, I mean, I don't think you want to put very much information in there, because people might just watch that. Tonight. Alright, anyways, let's see. What's this one here? This one is, comes now, Brian Koberger, by and through his attorney of record, and hereby moves the court for an order to seal the defendant's trial brief. So that must be something that, wow, I'm not sure what that is, but it sort of sounds like something about like, kind of like the strategy or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what a trial defendant's, what is it? Let's look it up. Let's get ChatGPT open here. Hey, thanks, guys. Deidre Gambrel and Stephanie Sprague. What did you do prior to doing this? Well, I still do that too, but it's like some Python coding for SEO, like companies that do SEO. I work for a company that does SEO, and then I write code in Python that goes out and scrapes information. It's kind of creative too, but you know what's crazy is now I use ChatGPT for coding. It's like I know how to do it, but it comes up with these elegant ways, and then you just sort of have to modify it to match what you want it to do, and then you move forward. It's really amazing stuff. I'm still trying to think of a good question for you. Okay, well, come up with one. But if you're wondering why I got into what I'm doing here, is I went to the Art Institute and back in like 2005, but I'd already learned how to do animation on my own using different programs. But then I went there and I learned how to use 3D Studio Max, Maya, you know. I already knew how to use Premiere and stuff like that, but I learned, you know, there's all these things in the school that I went to. It was a 4-year school, but I went for 2 years and then already felt like, okay, I can go out and use this stuff. I was on the dean's list the whole time because I was actually interested in that topic. And so then I got into using, when I was already into true crime, and then at some point, I think during the Jodi Arias case, I realized there's sort of a nexus between, I could make, in my, you know, building 3D models and stuff, I could use it to build the entire bathroom, and I did, you know, up where the murders happened in that case. And then that sort of, you know, spiraled into all of the stuff that I do now. I even got hired to do a court case in Brooklyn, New York for an elevator incident, making a 3D animation for that. Oh yeah, I was just going to ask, what is a trial brief? Trial brief is a legal document submitted by an attorney before or during. All right, let's just play it, right? Hey, what happened to my, it's not on there anymore. I can't play it. Or can I? If I right click, yeah, it's gone. Huh, must have turned it off. It's weird, I don't even see the extension anymore. Pretty wild. Might have to go try to find that. It says a trial brief is a legal document submitted by an attorney before or during a trial that outlines their case strategy. Boom, that's exactly what I thought. That's crazy. Key facts, legal arguments, and the laws or precedents that support their position. Ah, see, they don't want us to see that. I'd love to see that, though, wouldn't you? A short overview of what the case is about and what the party is asking the court to decide. A narrative of the facts. I mean, they don't have one yet. That's why they want to keep it sealed, because they don't have a damn thing. That's what I think. I think they're just like, yeah, we want to keep this hidden from the other the pro-burgers out there, because they'll realize we have nothing and we love their support. This one is motion to seal defendant's proposed jury instructions. I wonder why they want to seal that. This judge is pretty anti-sealing. He doesn't like to seal stuff. Comes now the state of Idaho by and through Latah County prosecuting attorney, and hereby moves the court pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rule for an order sealing the state's trial brief, so theirs as well. I'd love to see theirs. And request jury instruction based on the fact that the defendant's filings have been submitted under seal. The state leaves the ultimate determination to the court's discretion. Wonder what's that? What does that mean? So what's it saying? They want to sealing the state's trial brief and requested jury instruction based on the fact that the defendant's filings have been submitted under seal. I don't know how you connect the jury instruction to the defendant's filing have been submitted under seal. I don't know. This one is motion to seal defendant's response to state's exhibit S1. That's the DNA, right? States respond to Exhibit S1. Which one was S1? Isn't that the one? Isn't S1 the DoorDash? I know we looked at S1, or as S1 the scrapings underneath Madison Mogan's fingernails, or on her body. I don't know why you'd want to seal that. Response to the state's exhibit S1 attached to their first. Let me look at something. That was that trial. Look at all those faces. I'm just looking for that really quick. It feels like I kind of remember. Da-na-na-na-na. Six. Yeah. Maybe this one. It's not in there. That was that really big document. Is it under this one? Authentication record. Anybody remember what S1 was? I know we went over that. Not in there. I feel like it was in the make and model. Or maybe it's in this AT&T timing. You know, it seemed like it was the that DoorDash thing for some reason. You guys remember that? Let me try that one more time. Bushy eyebrows. Try that. Timing advance. Okay, let me just look in this one. No. Text messages. I'm just looking around, you guys. Don't worry about me. Okay, maybe in here. Yeah, so there it is, S1. Hold on. Let me go back. November, Moscow Police Department responded to 112 King Road. Payne affidavit, a state exhibit S1 investigators found for... Okay, so S1 is just the probable cause document? Yeah, okay, so here it is. State exhibit S1. So what are you talking about, I guess? Why are you wanting to get rid of that? So why are they sealing that? What's the whole point of that? Defendant's response to State's Exhibit S1 attached. Comes now, Brian Koberg is through his attorney and hereby moves the court for an order to seal the defendant's response. Oh yeah, so there was a response to that. This motion is made pursuant to... I guess we don't know, or we haven't seen that then, I guess. Because it's hard to seal something that's already been unsealed. Motion to seal exhibit to defendant's 5th supplemental response to discovery. Koberger, by and through his attorney of record, and hereby moves the court for an order to seal exhibit E to defendant's 5th supplemental response to discovery. Man, I don't know what exhibit E is. Alright, so this one here, maybe we can get ChatGPT to break it down. Can you break down a PDF file for me? This is the family member again in court. I'm sure the Zodiac Killer's probably dead by now. I guess I have to read it myself. Sorry, guys. Idaho Constitution gives crime victims... I think we're up here. The state of Idaho filed a motion in limine requesting that immediate family members of the homicide victims be allowed to attend the entire trial, even if they are scheduled to testify. The defense, Koberger's team, largely agreed, but added conditions about courtroom decorum. Idaho Constitution... Yeah, usually you can't be in trial until you testify. That's normally how it goes. Gives crime victims the right to attend proceedings. Idaho Code 19-5306 allows immediate families of homicide victims to attend criminal proceedings. McDonald versus Pless supports the court's authority to set decorum rules. U.S. Supreme Court precedents on public trial. They're listed right there. Victims' families in the courtroom. Granted, victims' parents, siblings, grandparents, and step-parents listed in State's Exhibit S1. There must be a hell of a lot more in S1 than just that probable cause, because none of these people are mentioned in there. Can stay in the courtroom for the entire trial. Defense agrees, but wants the court to control potentially prejudicial clothing like T-shirts with messages or photos. Right. I'm sure the family's going to wear shirts that's saying, Koberger's guilty. Court agrees that any signs, symbols, or clothing that could be viewed as coercive or emotionally manipulative will be prohibited. Koberger's family in the courtroom. Koberger's team requested that his parents and siblings be allowed in court too. The state objected, arguing that there is no equivalent legal right for the defendant's family. They planned to call some of his family members as witnesses so they should be excluded under IRE 615, a rule meant to prevent witnesses from hearing other testimony. The court's analysis. A defendant does have a constitutional right to a public trial, which can include having family members present. However, this right is not absolute. Partial closures excluding certain people are allowed if justified and narrowly tailored. The state's basis for exclusion is IRE 615, which allows a judge to exclude witnesses from the courtroom before they testify. But the court acknowledges the trial will be long. The defendant needs family support. Some of the proposed testimony from the family might be minimal or non-substantive. I hate that word, man. Well, that's sort of interesting. So we're sort of getting a little hint there that there might not be much that the family's going to say, you know. Much of the case has already been heavily publicized, meaning potential witnesses might already know key evidence. Final decision. Victims' families allowed to attend entire trial. So this is the decision for now, I guess. Koberger's family, decision postponed. The state must submit by April 25th, 2025. A list of which family members... Isn't it amazing, the breakdown that ChatGPT can do for you? I mean, this is so much clearer than reading all that stuff. Koberger's family decision is postponed. The state must submit by April 25th, 2025. 3 different things. A list of which family members it plans to call, a summary of their expected testimony, a justification for why they must be excluded under IRE 615. The court will issue a final ruling before or at May 15th, 2025 pretrial conference. So is that another hearing that's going to be streamed? Notes on court decorum. No signs, symbols, or messages, clothing, jewelry, etc. supporting either side will be tolerated. No outbursts or demonstrations from the gallery will be allowed. Overall takeaway. This ruling tries to balance the right of both the victims' families to witness justice and defendant to have support from his family during a capital murder trial, while respecting witness sequestration rules. Would you like this written in bro mode? No, I would not, because I don't want to read it. Yeah. Let's see what it says if I say, no thank you. Does it respond? You got it. If you need anything else. That's pretty cool. I think you know what AI is going to be huge in? Automobiles. I mean, because the AI that's in there now kind of sucks. But like this level stuff here, oh my God. Imagine how incredible that. You could ask it questions and it reads it back. Like you could just have this long dialogue and a conversation on a trip. You're like, I don't know about, could you imagine that? Like you don't even have to have somebody with you. You're just having this long conversation as long as you can get it to read back to you. And let's say you could even say, hey, stop what you're saying now. I need to throw you some more information. I don't have a suspect. Sully, you always act like a crazy person in here. Why would I have a suspect? Nobody has a suspect in it. I wonder who Gray thinks the Zodiac was. He must have a suspect. I think Sully's a troll, just hiding around in here, you guys. We'll see how it goes. Because I've never seen you make a comment that was mildly interesting or even, just sort of a thought about something like, hey, that sounds really, and you make a comment that people think about. It's always something a little off. Yeah, there's probably people that pretend that they know who a suspect is. The court having before in the motion to seal defendant proposed jury instructions and good cause appearing now therefore. I don't know what the hell that means. Okay. Move on to the next one. There's just a whole bunch of these little short ones. We'll see, Soli. Oh, really? How come you haven't gotten any better though, Soli? Come on, work on it a little bit. It's just weird, man. Yeah. The court having before it the motion to seal defendant's response to State's Exhibit S1, State's first supplemental request, it hereby orders defendant's responses to State's Exhibit S1 attached to their first supplemental request for discovery shall be filed under seal. God, what's in there? Why would you want the... So that was a ruling. And so this one says the court having before its motion to seal defendant's trial brief and good cause appearing now therefore, it says shall be filed under seal. So their trial brief is going to be sealed. And here, this is the defendant's Exhibit E to their fifth supplemental response. Discovery shall be filed under seal. Based upon the state's motion to seal state's trial brief and requested jury instructions filed, the court does hereby confirm and order that it's exempt from disclosure and sealed pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rule for the reasons stated in the said motion. Well, there you go. A lot of stuff sealed. A lot of stuff sealed. Now, I think they're going to allow it to be streamed, but they're not allowing any news outlets to stream it. Like, I mean, they're not having a camera. There's no pool camera. It's just that same video that we've been watching. That's how it's going to go. I'm totally okay with that. I'm fine. I think it's, you know, I mean, you can go to the trial and go watch it in there. You just can't record it. But for me, it's not worth it to travel there to sit in the courtroom and not stream. I mean, I'd rather stream it live and be talking about it as it's going along, wouldn't you? I mean, who the hell you know, the Delphi case was different. There was now no cameras or nothing. So somebody had to go in there and then watch it and report on it. Where this case is going to be streamed. Now, there might be stuff that is off camera that they're not going to show, and that'll suck. Because then we'll have to rely on somebody being there. I don't even know what you asked. So the answer was, it's going to be a camera in there. It's the court's camera. It seemed like it was a pretty obvious answer. Well, who cares, Jenna? Nobody cares. You make the similar types of comments. You wouldn't get in even if you traveled there for the case. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think you could get in if it's no camera. I think it's easier to get in because, I mean, if there's a camera that the court's streaming, a lot of people aren't going to show up there because you can watch it streamed. Why would you travel there to sit there? Yeah, that's what I figured. Does it say, do you guys put the little CA next to your name? Or does that show up? All right, now it's definitely time to get out of here. Streaming it and putting mask over. Yeah, I mean, I want to stream it and do all that stuff. That was fun. That 8-hour stream we did the other day, it just soared by. I thought it was fun. Oh, it says like Jenna CA, like Canadian, Canada. I don't know if it's just in replace of that little leaf that they have. I don't see that. Never mind, you guys. It's just weird. No, see, she has it right next to her name. Do you see that? It says Jenna, C.A. Can you see it? I would go if you know, I mean, that would be really hard to get in there if it was not being streamed and it was relying on reporting from people in the courtroom. That would be absolutely, that case is about 10 times more popular than the Delphi case. It doesn't show a flag, it says CA for me. So you guys probably have the Canadian flag, but for me it just says CA on it. Here, I'll show you. Just so you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that doesn't work. It's right there. See her name and then CA right next to it? It's kind of small, but it's right there. You guys probably see the maple leaf. I'm not going to make it bigger. Sorry. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for me tonight. I'm going to get out of here. We got to... How much time? 2 hours and 46 minutes. Not bad. Yeah, I mentioned it at the beginning. Just didn't really want to get into it. He's already been caught and everything. And then I can't play the video because there's somebody bloody in it, and just forget it. If it was like a bigger ongoing story, I would probably do it, but... I don't know. I don't know what he was up to. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks, Sirius Black. We got Sandy Shirley, gifted 5 memberships right out of the gate. Then Kathy Friedenmaker. Then Mary Lynn, 25. This account. Then Crimezilla. This account. Donna. Michelle H. Remember we used to have like Donna D. I remember saying that all the time. Michelle H. And Crimezilla gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. Then K-Me. Then Mama 457 Rose. Cinnamon Sin Freak. This account. Stephanie Sprague. Ivan Victor again. And Ivan Victor was the only one that was supporting the Lori Daybell videos. Stephanie Sprague. Donna. And then Ivan Victor a cat eye in here. Then Daff M gifted a membership. Then I gifted 5. Then Daff M gifted 1. This account gifted 1. Then Judy Grandstrand gifted 5. Then Deidre gifted 1. And then Stephanie Sprague, M10, and Sirius Black. Thanks, guys. I think we got to just sort of a little over, the goal level where I give the 5 memberships. And then also on, let's see, we had a Mrs. Wild did a PayPal, and then we had 1 coffee tonight. I think that's the lowest number of coffees of any night in the last 2 or 3 months. Let's see. Well, anyways. Sorry I didn't go to bed there, Stephanie. I almost did. I think they just had like jury instructions or something today. I don't know. I don't think there was anything today. I don't think I would post it anyways. It's just, it takes too much time for so little any watching at all. It's just... Oh, right. Well, thanks everybody, and thanks for listening to my, my saga that's currently going on. It's appreciate your guys' comments. It's pretty crazy. So, anyways, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, Until next time, be safe out there, freaks. Yeah, maybe hit the like button.
This true crime thing
That
for
might be
quite a
nice.
while now. And during
Only
this whole time, I
226
have not
likes.
seen one person that is a
Crime dissector.
plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya.
Wanna scratch ya if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Green's gonna give another lecture.
Crime collector,
Freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pop protector.
fool deflector,
Interceptor, I don't need a little spectre with a vector.
with all respect, y'all.
Just remember,
I've a temple fucking
injection.
I have no agenda. I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
All right, everybody.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody. Talk to you.
All right. See you later, everybody.